What's up, everybody? Chris here with another exciting episode of Chris's Arcade. I am so excited about this show. We have a very special guest. You're going to know him in his roles in The People Under the Stairs, Twister, Never Been Kissed, Men in Black, shows like Lost, Castle, Scrubs, the list goes on and on. I'm going right to it. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you the extremely talented Sean Whalen. Sean, thanks so much for being a guest on the show today.
Hey, no problem. Hello, everybody, and save me some quarters.
All right, first off, Sean, I gotta ask, how often do you get confused with actor Steve Buscemi?
It does happen a lot, but as he got older, I was kind of glad he's getting older. Because I want him to age out of our similarity, which is good, because I saw Boardwalk Empire and I thought, oh, this is good. Like this, I don't look like that anymore. So I'm getting it a lot less, honestly, since Boardwalk Empire. The only thing is, I know I used to get recognized for possibly being him, but someone told me literally that he was on the set of one of his movies with Michael Bay. And he said that a grip guy came up and said, "Hey man, how'd you like doing that milk commercial?" And I was like, I feel so bad. I did a YouTube thing about it called Apologies to Steve Buscemi, because I feel so bad that he, would be mistaken for me. But, it's an honor to be mistaken for him. So,
Sean, you are an amazing actor. At what age did you know this is what you wanted to do?
When I was young, I was the youngest of four. I always played around with my brothers and sisters, and we always, would have to do the kitchen chores after dinner, and I would entertain them. And by the time they were done cleaning the kitchen, I was done my show, and I hadn't lifted a finger. So I realized that, hey, this is kind of a good gig, like making them laugh. And I did some stuff in, I remember Kindergarten Circus and things like that, but I think the bug really hit me in fifth grade when I directed and starred in a version of Rumpelstiltskin. And I remember coming out at the end of that, because we did it in front of the whole school, and I slid out on stage on the little elf socks, and the crowd went crazy. And I thought, oh, this is awesome. This is really, really fun. I got to be creative, show people, and they dug it. So I didn't do as much in junior high school, but I really dove into it in high school, being part of the theater department, choral department. I was in a barbershop quartet, in the dancing and a live show we did. So I was in all parts of entertainment in high school.
What was your first gig that started it all for you?
Well, for me, it would probably be People Under the Stairs, which was really, really great because it was my first feature. It was the one that I'd been doing commercials, and so my waiting shifts would get smaller and smaller. I waited tables like everybody, but they would get fewer and fewer and fewer. And then finally, I got People Under the Stairs, and it was enough to quit the restaurant business, which is exciting because you got to go, dude, I'm not a waiter anymore. But you don't get to sit around and go if I had the money, I would quit this job and be a full-time actor. Well, then you get that money and now you have to step up and you can't whine about it anymore. So there's something kind of scary about it too, because you go, oh, now I can't whine about it anymore. I literally have to do it and I have to sustain this career. So that was my first big break, and working with Wes was amazing. So
The People Under the Stairs. What an awesome Wes Craven classic.
I could have killed him, but I'll let the people under the stairs do it.
Tell us about your role on the movie as Roach.
The role was a role that I really liked. I went to my acting coach, and I had played, it was very similar actually to Renfield in Dracula. And so I had and I had just done that 10 years earlier in high school. And I could definitely draw on that thing where Renfield was stuck between Dracula and the people in the house. Dr. Van Helsing and all those people. And Roach was stuck between the people under the stairs and the couple. So it was very similar in that way. And he was very heroic, and he didn't try to dig out and leave. He wanted to stay and screw with their heads and be kind of a jerk to them, which is awesome.
Roach. Roach is my friend.
Roach? I'm Poindexter. Everybody calls me Fool. You sure got the names, huh?
So, and I didn't have any lines to memorize. So that was always really good. And Wes just really wanted me to find the heart of the guy and the fun that I would have.
What I want to know next is, what was it like working with Wes Craven?
Well, it's interesting. He's not a crazy, dark person, even though he writes that stuff. He's very sweet. He's very kind. He was super nurturing to all his actors. He really wanted us to do the best work we possibly could. He put a lot of time and effort into making us feel comfortable, letting us do our craft. He would let real moments happen. He knew how to shake us out of getting into our heads, but he really gave us a lot of space and breathing room. And he was just really mellow and really nice. And like I felt like he was your nice, sweet favorite uncle. That's the best way I would describe him.
I have got to say, the tongue scene when you stick out your tongue, that part scared me to death, man, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk much, does he?
His tongue's cut out.
That was a prosthetic thing. I had to go get my tongue fitted for it. And usually when you do a prosthetic, they make they dip your hand in stuff and then they take it off and they do a life cast or a cast of it. But for this, so they needed one for my tongue, so they had all that goopy stuff in a cup, and I had to just go like and stick my tongue in there for like 20 minutes. It really blew. But it was a great little thing that slipped on my tongue, and I actually wore that thing the entire shoot because it allowed me to keep talking but not speak, if that makes sense. So that's why Roach can kind of makes a lot of like try to say things, but he can't really make them really clear because I had that thing in my mouth.
Now, Sean, in 1996, Twister was the second highest grossing film, and as of November of 2012, it has earned a worldwide total of over $494 million. Talk to us for a minute about your experience on the set of this historic film.
Hey, you know what, Joe? Some of us couldn't help but notice how close we are to Wakita.
No.
Yeah, and Aunt Mac wouldn't want a pit stop, right?
No.
Red meat, we crave sustenance.
Guys, we are not invading my aunt.
Food.
Hey! We're absolutely not going.
I mean, that was crazy because we were gone for 6 months. And my wife at the time and I had just moved into a Beverly Hills apartment, and we were just getting settled. And, I said goodbye and was gone for, 5.5 months. We lived in a little town called Ponca City, Oklahoma. And, coming from LA, you'd say, oh, well, I'd like to get some pasta. Well, there was no such thing as pasta. It was spaghetti and meatballs. And they would, and there was just a few fast food chains, a Walmart, and that was kind of it. And luckily, being on the good guy team, we worked all the time. So we got to go to set and get the catering and all this other stuff. And the other guys were kind of stuck there, but we all had to stay because even when you may not be on the schedule for a few weeks, they'd change the schedule every day based on the weather. So they would have a few locations set every day, and the weatherman would tell them, this is going to be the grayest cloud. Here are where the grayest clouds will be tomorrow. So they would move this circus all through the night. And it was just tons of tents and trailers and trucks. And it was just insane. And they would find a field, set it up, and we'd be there for the day, and then they would do it all over again. The weather guy tracking storms and saying, hey, maybe we can go drive an hour away and pick up this shot, because the more the sky was messed up, the less CGI and money they would have to spend in post-production to make it look dark. They kind of had bad luck because there was very few stormy days that we were there, and then we just kind of hung out a lot because it took so long to do shots. And then a lot of days it was Alan Ruck and myself driving behind Helen and Bill and Jamie Gertz, just driving, because they go, oh, we may see you in the background. And it was like, Helen and Bill, Jamie Gertz, the back of the truck, the Dorothy thing, 50 yards of road, the truck, and then the window, and then us. And I was like, dude, you're never going to see us. And of course you never did, but they said, just in case, we want you guys to drive instead of your stunt doubles. So we did that, and you drive 3 miles down a road, and then to turn around, you'd have to do like a 17-point turn around, drive back, do another 17-point turn, and then get ready and do that shot again. So, that's why it took so long. The movie took so long. But I had a great time. I hung out with Joey Slotnick and Ben Weber, A. Ben Ruby, and Jeremy Davies, who was also on Lost, and Phil Hoffman. I was very lucky to hang out. Him and Joey and me and Jeremy and Abe, we used to hang out and go. We would go antique shopping. We would, go thrift store shopping. We'd hang out on the set. We'd watch movies. So it was really cool. He was a great guy. It's a huge loss. And it's not only for the acting world and for people who knew him that way, but he was just so funny. Like, he was hysterically funny. A great guy.
Sean, do you have any funny stories from the set of Twister?
Yes, it's a Phil Hoffman story, actually. We were driving and antique shopping one day, and my friend, his name is John Thompson, Dr. John Thompson now, but he was doing med school in Iowa, and he drove us around Iowa to go to some stores, and we stopped. And we had lunch and hung out the whole day, and we got out, and Phil said, this was a beautiful day. And we all went, but what? He goes, but sadly, I've made love to none of you. And so I just got on all fours, and he grabbed my hips and started to go, and my other actor friends were laughing, and we were laughing, and it was hysterical. But my friend who lived in Iowa was like, stop it, you can't do that in Iowa. Like, people don't get that kind of humor. This is not the right place to be. That was one on an off day, but one on the set day was they wanted to get to lunch, and there's a scene of us watching Carrie Elways get killed, and we are really scared that he's going to die. But Jan de Bont said, "Okay, you got to look at the twist. They say we have to go to lunch. We got to go to lunch." And he said, "We don't have time." And so he said, "No, we'll get it. Just everybody listen to me. You're watching the tornado, you're watching the truck, it's really big, it's fucking big, they pick it up, it takes the truck, you're freaked out, you look at it, and then it drops them, and oh my God, they're dead, you don't even know what's going, and the twist is coming at you, and you're really freaked out, and okay, cut, let's go to lunch." And everyone was like, what did we just do? Like, we had no idea. But that ended up in the movie, and I remember Phil looked down and goes, this dog isn't even the same dog. It was this dog with a white snout. So it was hysterical.
Now, is it true that director Jan de Bont was out of control at times on the set, and some crew members actually left the set and quit?
Yes. We lost our DP halfway through the movie. Jack Green, he's huge DP. And the rumor was he pushed him. But yeah, the problem with Jan was that he would say things and he assumed you knew what he said, but he didn't say them. Like, I remember we were driving in, one of our crazy turns, or, driving down a dirt road, and he goes, Sean, I told you to, walkie-talkie. Sean, I told you to turn right. Fuck, turn right. I go, you didn't tell me to turn right. He's like, yes, I did. I told you to turn right. And I thought, and Alan and I were like, what is he talking about? And then we just hear the PA get on the phone. It's like, it's okay, dude. I knew he didn't say that. Just turn right now. But he would think he said stuff because his mind was going so fast, you know? So, I mean, that's what he was so hyper and fast that it kind of made that energy really good, you know, really exciting. But it was also really hard because he couldn't figure out what he was doing. And he just, I think it was hard for him, honestly, looking back. He shot, you know, he worked with Barry Sonnenfeld and shot like Addams Family and really cool movies, and he had a specific style. But I think he shot and held the camera. It was hard for him to let other people, you know, do it for him. But yeah, he was he was definitely out there.
Sean, what accomplishment are you most proud of?
Wow, that's crazy. Well, I mean, probably being a father of my two girls, that, you know, that I have a good relationship with two teenage girls, which is rare, you know. A lot of girls hate their dads, but we actually have fun. I mean, we have our moments, but we have a lot of fun. We decorate for the holidays. We go out on adventures all the time. I mean, when we went to Disneyland with my daughters and my girlfriend, you know, we thought, well, they're teenagers. Why don't we like give them their space? And we said, so if you guys want to go hang on a ride, and they said, no, we want to hang out with you guys. And that was really great to think, wow, my teenage daughters aren't like, ugh, finally we get away from him, you know? Not at all. They really enjoyed hanging out with us. So I would have to say that is my greatest accomplishment, hands down.
Sean, your filmography list is so long that we unfortunately can't cover it all in this segment, but that just shows your extreme talent and all of your amazing success and achievements. But you've been in everything from Batman Returns, Waterworld, The Cable Guy, Men in Black, Idle Hands, Employee of the Month, Jersey Boys, the list goes on and on. Sean, what I want to know so far, what has been your favorite film to have worked on in your career?
I mean, I think creatively it was I mean, People on the Stairs holds a special place in my heart because it was my first film. And, but Never Been Kissed was probably the funnest. Because it was only supposed to be one line, and they had like a schlubby guy. And I worked with Nancy Javonen and Drew to come. I said, this is what I think is funny. A guy who thinks he's really cocky and really has his crap together, but he's a copy editor's assistant. He's not important in any way, shape, or form. But he's got the Armani suit, he's got the headset, he thinks he's the, like, coolest guy in the universe.
The way I see it, we are tomorrow. Hello, I'm tomorrow. Because when we get the money and the power, the women come to me. The women come to me. Do what I'm doing. You know, if you ain't moving, no movement. You better write that down. You got a napkin?
And they let me run with that. And then the first shot of the first day was her walking up to me. And I improvised all those lines that I say in the movie. Not improvised, but I wrote them down. And Drew, you know, I thought, either I'm going to get yelled at or it's going to go all right. And Drew was like, these are great. I want you to keep bringing them in every day. And I would write lines and dialogue and things. And they would go, well, let's keep this one. Let's keep that one. So I literally created my character in that film, which was so great. I mean, I had so much fun doing it, and then the part got bigger, and then it turned out to be, you know, a full-on arc in the movie. So I was really, really lucky.
Never Been Kissed, starring Drew Barrymore. Yes, you played the hilarious character of Merkin.
I had my own office, unlimited stationery supplies, and a professional dedicated assistant.
Thought of this awesome new phrase. Power is powerful. Total t-shirt, right? Awesome. Amazing. What?
Can I get my messages?
Yeah. Hey, seriously, last time I saw you, did I look fat? Okay, you hesitated. No, it's case closed. Forget it. You
Excuse me, Merkin. I noticed that there weren't any index cards, and I can't do my notes without them.
Hey, Merkin ain't jerking. He's working. Okay? Take that to the bank. It's power, baby. It's power. Yeah, my boss.
You know, as a celebrity yourself, Sean, I gotta ask, do you or did you ever get starstruck working with like mega superstars like Drew Barrymore?
I mean, it was great to meet her and hang out with her, but once we knew each other, yeah, you kind of always do.
She calls it a pedicure? She wants me.
But I mean, you know, I think my most recent thing was working with Clint Eastwood, you know? And when I walked on that set, I was like, oh man, there he is. But what was so great was one of the cameraman now was the first assistant camera on Twister. So the stories I just told you about Jan being crazy, my scene took place in the sound engineering booth, and the camera guy and I were talking about Twister, and then we look in the corner and there's Clint sitting there, he's looking at the room for the shot, and it was in between shots, so we just sat there and hung out and made him laugh. He was laughing so hard at all the stories, and he was so mellow. But yeah, you're going, oh, I'm just making this dude laugh. No, you're so full awareness. You're like, that's Clint Eastwood, and that's really awesome. Like, he's super cool, and he, yes, you still get that, but you have to be professional. You have to be. You have to act like, oh yeah, nice to meet you, nice, thank you. But of course, you're excited. Yeah, easily, when you work with legends,
Now, one of my favorite film series from the 80s is Revenge of the Nerds. Now, Sean, you played Wormser in Revenge of the Nerds 3.
Wormser? What is a Wormser?
When a dry lamb's in trouble, I'm there.
You're so grown up. And so handsome. Are you married?
Better. I'm a gynecologist.
Now, Sean, I have to ask, did you ever become a gynecologist?
No. But the weird thing, a very good friend of mine, Greg Binkley, was one of the stars of that show, of that movie. But I guess they couldn't find him. He was like off the radar or something. No one knew where he was. It was really weird. And I thought, well, that's kind of strange. So I played him, but it was kind of weird. Be like, God, this is not my part. This is so strange. So it was pretty funny. And then they used like literally a PA guy on the set, and to try to make him look like Anthony Edwards, which like he didn't at all, like not even close. And they were like, look, it's him. And they're like, no, it isn't. Like, not even close. Like, I wasn't Wormser and he wasn't Anthony. It was kind of funny.
Look, I thought you did a great job, and I loved you as Wormser. I thought it was great.
Well, that was supposed to be like a pilot for a series. They wanted to have that be an actual show, but I guess the movie didn't do well enough to be a series. So,
what's one of your biggest pet peeves?
I think lack of communication. To be more specific, is like my girlfriend and I have an amazing communication relationship. My daughters and I have a great communication relationship. I just feel like communicating is the best of everything, and so not communicating, I think, is one of my pet peeves. Like, because I don't think you can go anywhere. There's nowhere to go. You're just guessing and banging your head against the wall because you don't have anything to go with.